いた叫びが届け Fly us high again.
Hello there, I'm Izzy, creator of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged live-action role-playing game. If you're watching this video, it means you're signed up for the up-and-coming LARP, or are just interested in learning the basics in this fun children's trading card game. So, sit back, grab your deck, and get ready, 'cause it's time to duel!
That's against the rules, isn't it? Screw the rules, I have money.
Now, don't worry, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game is not that complex, and it very rarely ends in death. However, there's always the slight possibility that you may end up forfeiting your soul during one of the matches, leaving behind nothing but an empty shell. However, let's be honest with ourselves, if you're wasting your time playing a children's trading card game, you're already an empty shell.
Now I'm going to remove your soul from your body, leaving you a shell of your former self. From now on, you'll just stand around with a blank look on your face all the time. So you probably won't notice any difference. Ooh, I totally burned you.
Now, in Yu-Gi-Oh! There are three main divisions of cards. Monster cards, spell cards, and trap cards.
It is important that you are familiar with the different parts of the cards. So let's take a look at the iconic monster card, the Dark Magician. The Dark Magician is yellow in color because it is a normal monster. Upon looking at the card, one should be able to find out the name of the card, the monster's elemental attribute, the card's monster type, the attack and defense points of the card, and the level of the monster, represented by the number of stars it has. The level is particularly important to understand, because a monster with 4 stars or less can be freely summoned. A monster with 5 or 6 stars requires another monster to be tributed before it can be summoned. And a monster with 7 or more stars requires 2 tributes. There are many different types of monster cards, one of which is called effect monsters.
Effect monsters are good to have because of the variety of effects that can be used to both aid you and harm your opponent. Hane is a flip effect monster. Its ability activates when it's flipped face up.
Effect monsters are orange in color and have the words Effect Monster written on their card. If you want to know what an effect monster does, just read the card. Their effects are clearly written in their text box.
The next category of monster cards are called ritual monster cards. These cards are blue in color and each require a corresponding ritual spell card to play.
Ritual monsters can only be special summoned by playing their corresponding ritual spell cards. When the spell card is played, you will be required to sacrifice any number of monsters whose total number of stars is equal to the ritual monster's level. If you get confused, read the monster's text box, which clearly explains how to summon it. The last category of monster cards are fusion monsters. Fusion monsters can only be summoned by combining 2 specific monsters together. Fusion monsters are purple in color and can only be special summoned by playing the spell card Polymerization. The 2 or more monsters required to summon the fusion monster are listed in the card's text box. Fusion cards are placed in the fusion deck, which is kept separate from your main deck.
The next main type of card is called a spell card, which is green in color. Spell cards offer a variety of effects which aid you during the game.
Now, there are different types of spell cards. Continuous spell cards which remain on the field after they are activated. Quick play spell cards which can be activated on your opponent's turn. Equip spell cards which act as power boosting weapons given to one of your monsters. Ritual spell cards which are used to summon ritual monsters. And field spell cards which can change the entire playing field for both you and your opponent.
The last type of card is called a trap card, which is pink in color. Trap cards are reactionary cards, which can be played on your opponent's turn.
Trap cards cannot be played until the beginning of your opponent's turn because you need to set your trap beforehand. There are 3 types of trap cards. Normal traps, which have an instantaneous effect. Continuous trap cards, which remain on the field after their activation. and counter trap cards that negate the activation and effect of various cards for a cost.
Now that you know the different types of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's time you learned the basic rules. At the start of the game, each player begins with 4,000 life points. The object of the game is to reduce your opponent's life points to 0.
That costs you 599 US life points. No! I lost!
The game is taken in turns, each turn being broken up into a series of steps called phases. The first phase is called the draw phase, where you simply draw the top card from your deck. The second phase is called the standby phase. The standby phase is when some effects on the field are either activated or a cost is required to be paid. Following the standby phase is the main phase. The main phase is the bulk of the turn. During your main phase, you can either normal summon or set a single monster. You can change the battle position of any monsters on your side of the field that have not been summoned this turn. You can activate any card or effect on the field. And finally, you can set any number of spell and trap cards face down on your side of the field. Following the main phase is the combat phase.
Playing card games sure beats doing schoolwork. Arithmetic is for losers. Now I just gotta subtract your defense points from my attack points and wait a minute, how do I do that? It's official. You're an idiot.
Now, the combat phase isn't that complicated. In fact, there are some turns where you might want to skip it altogether. During the combat phase, you can select any number of your monsters in face-up attack position and have them attack your opponent's monsters. Or, if your opponent doesn't have any monsters on the field, you can choose to attack him directly.
So, how does combat work? Well, it's easy. You select one of your face-up monsters in attack position and have it attack one of your opponent's monsters. The stronger monster will survive. If you attack a monster that is in attack position, it will fight back, potentially destroying your monster. But if your monster's attack goes through, your opponent will lose life points. Attacking a defense position monster holds no risk for your attacking monster, but your opponent will not lose any life points if the defense position monster is destroyed. Defense position monsters are like durable walls. However, be wary, because if you attack a monster that is stronger than you, then you will be the one to lose life points. Be cautious when attacking a face-down monster, because you do not know which monster is being hidden from sight. Once an attack is declared, the face-down monster will be flipped face-up, and then damage will be calculated as normal. Just be careful, because some monster effects may trigger when the card is flipped face-up.
After the combat phase is the second main phase. The second main phase is exactly the same as the first main phase. So, if you have not normal summoned or set a monster yet, or if you have not changed the battle position of a monster that did not attack, you may do so now. Just remember that the same restrictions apply. After the second main phase is the end phase. During the end phase, end of turn effects happen, and if you have more than 6 cards in your hand, you have to discard until you only have 6 cards remaining. Then your turn is over, and it is your opponent's turn. The two of you will go back and forth until one of you is declared the winner.
Yugi, because of the circumstances, our last duel was not conclusive. Perhaps the next time we duel, we will finally learn which of us is truly superior.
In case you hadn't noticed, I'm the king of card games. And besides, I already beat you in the first episode.
What's your point?
My point is, you're never going to beat me. So just get over it.
I hate you so much.
Now, you can play as many times as you want, and you might be surprised to find out how many different methods there are to win. The most obvious one is to reduce your opponent's life points down to 0. However, another method is to force them to draw from a deck when they have no cards remaining. This is called a milling strategy.
The most famous win condition in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is managing to get all 5 pieces of Exodia, the forbidden one, into your hand, which ensures an automatic victory.
The final method to winning is to have your opponent simply give up.
I surrender.
Yugi forfeited the match to Kaiba. I surrender, Arthur.
You win, Rebecca. I surrender.
Check it out, my dragon's stoned.
Surprisingly, it's the most common way the main characters in the abridged series win. But even characters that lose card games, or surrender can still enjoy the next card game they play.
This match will decide everything. One of these men will return home with either $3 million in prize money or the prestige of being the new king of card games. But no matter who wins this duel, in the end they're both losers. I mean winners. Yeah, winners.
Now that you have a basic understanding of the rules, I think it would be a good idea to show you how a normal game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played by challenging an iconic figure. You might as well get used to watching people playing a children's card game. It's gonna happen sooner or later.
I've been thinking, I don't know about you two, but I'm not happy being just a minor character. We never get any screen time. All we do is stand in the background and watch people play card games. It's time we took matters into our own hands and made a name for ourselves as main characters.